Hey, what is happening, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. I know it has been a while. Uh, got a bunch of stuff going on, and yeah, been super busy. Um, so let's get back into it. Today we're just gonna do an update video. First off, we'd like to welcome all of our new subscribers. Welcome. Thanks for joining us. Thank you for your support. We do a mix of all sorts of different content. So, yeah, hopefully it'll be something you guys like. Most of you have probably joined us off of our reaction videos, and we will have some more of those, but that is not the only content that we create. Um, some new developments with The Wilson Life. We are live with our mobile sauna. It is up and being rented, and we're super excited about that. There are more developments coming up. We are collaborating with several local businesses here in Alaska, and we have some awesome things coming up. We already did a giveaway, and that has come and gone. There will probably be some other giveaways in the future and some other collaborations that I cannot go into at this moment, but we're super excited, and some more features and stuff to bring to our local followers and also to some of our worldwide followers. So that being said, that's new excitement going on. I am officially back at work with my full-time job. My hand's good to go. I've had one full week at work and doing fantastic. That's super excited. Glad to have some stable income coming in and be able to get things built back up. On that note, there's something I do kind of want to talk about. So originally, The Wilson Life was developed as kind of a channel for our close friends and family to be able to join us on our adventure to Alaska. About 7.5 years ago, we decided to pack our little family up of 4 at the time and move from Utah to Wasilla, Alaska. We made that move. We have been here for 7.5 years, and it has been quite a journey. We decided to create this channel and basically vlog some of our adventures. That's kind of morphed into several other things. We have started creating handmade goods, and our content has changed a little bit. We still do adventures, we still do self-reliance type stuff, we still have some how-tos. And one of the things that we do a lot of are side hustles. I have learned from a very young age to always have something in my back pocket. This last year, actually more than the last year, of course, several of the last several years has proven the importance of having other streams of income. Here at The Wilson Life, we have strived to have several different types of side hustles. There's a point in time where I was doing really good at my full-time job. There was tons and tons of overtime and call, and so I slacked off on the side hustles, kind of let everything fizzle out. Fast forward, and COVID came, and things got really busy, then they slowed down, then they got really busy again. And so when things slowed down, I did not have those side hustles. So I had to basically restart and do them. Still had the skill set, still did that. So it wasn't super hard to restart. My point being, in good times and bad times, you should always have multiple streams of income. always. A perfect example of having that and the importance of it is the last 5 months. Now, the last 5 months, back in April 1st, as some of you have seen, I ride electric skateboards. Some of the content's created from that. I had a pretty decent wreck and I ended up breaking my wrist. Well, and the particular bone I fractured does not typically heal well. And when it does, it takes a long time. So I was out of work, my primary job, for 5 months. Another thing that happened that I'll go ahead and share, and that just for the purpose of education, it's not really anyone's business, but I do feel like it's important to share, and it drives my point home. Many of us pay out of our paychecks a certain amount to have certain benefits. Well, one thing I learned is you cannot always rely on those benefits to be there when you need them. Now, for the first month, well, through April through May, I had my short-term disability, that all worked and everything. Somewhere along the lines from May to June, I ended up losing short-term disability, and it was a absolute battle to try and get things fixed. Long story short, I ended up all of June and all of July with no sort of payment from short-term disability. That left me with 2 months worth of bills I had to come up with. There were 3 factors that saved our butt on this. The first one, we had a decent nest egg, close to 2 months worth of income in savings. So we had that. We also had our church that stepped up and helped us with things like groceries and a couple bills here or there that we weren't able to cover on top of everything else. So mind you, even though I had that savings for our normal expenses, right? So those normal expenses, we had things covered. We were having bills from my surgery, from medications, from all the doctor's bills and everything that were going on. All those extra bills were coming in on top of our regular income or our regular expenses. So there were a few times where our church helped us cover those bills. Now, the third thing were the side hustles. There were still things that we do and were doing that were bringing a little bit of money in. Not a whole lot. We do paracord items. We make keychains, bottle holders, pew-pew slings. Don't want to get freaking censored from YouTube, so we're going to say pew-pews. And, a few other items. I also started, as many of you have seen some content from, I've also started doing spray paint art. This is a piece I'm working on right now. You may see some content about that later. I'll go into that in another video. I picked up spray paint art because it was something that I could do left-handed and with very limited amount from my right hand. And I started practicing and doing things, and it caught attention, and people started asking me to do paintings. This became to be a great blessing because my paintings were selling between $25, $50 or so, and people were very generous in giving me tips. So I was making $25, $50, $75, depending on the tip, per painting, and there was multiple orders coming in. So between that, the paracord stuff, also going through, and before I got injured, we had bought a storage unit. No? Did we buy one before? At some point in there, we had bought a storage unit and flipped the storage unit. One of the fastest, quickest ways to make quick, fast money, auction flipping. So we knew, we saw that there was going to be a need for cash. We had some seed money from our other stuff. We took that, flipped that into a storage unit, bought the storage unit, and we paid like $67 on it. We turned around and made $500 actually over that. The camera sold for $500. We're at 900 and so just under $1,000 on that storage unit that we bought for $67. So that was a nice thing. Now all that money doesn't come at once. As if you've resold before, you know that money kind of trickles in. The awesome thing is when that money comes in, you may go for a long period of time not being able to sell something, then all of a sudden things will sell. And so you're continuously bringing in there's some cash flow continuously coming in. So that was nice. We had that. I also started looking at things that we had around the house that hadn't been used in a while. And with that, I turned around and sold a bunch of things. I had my Preludes that I was working on. Well, now I wasn't able to work on them, and they were just sitting. It was something that had value in it, and we needed the cash value more than, potential value. So I turned around and sold those. We were able to create income during a time of no income. So my point with this is it is important to find and establish other lines of income. Now, I've been asked many times, what kinds of things work? How do I do this? Honestly, start looking at your hobbies, things that you like to do. Can you take a hobby, a skill that you've learned or are learning, and can you make money with that? 99% of the time, the answer to that is yes. So then you start researching on other people that are making money doing those things. There are numerous things. The government wants you to think that there's not a ton of money and stuff out there. There is tons of money out there. You just have to look for it. And that if you need money next week or the end of the week, and you set your mind to, okay, I'm gonna make X amount of money, and you by the end of the week, and you go out and chase that, you're gonna find it. Some work, but so I definitely look at your talents and look at can I profit from my talents? Another thing is start looking at things that you're interested in but haven't ever gone after before. Right now, like the spray painting, my intent was not to even sell any of this. This wrist fracture forced me to have to slow down and look at things. And so one of the things that my therapist and I had talked about was for me to start using my artistic brain again. Now, it has been years, like since high school, since I have sat down and drawn things out. I used to draw all the time, and I come by it naturally. My mother is a artist by trade, so I grew up learning all these things and seeing these things, and the creative process is ingrained inside of me. And I haven't been able to do that. And when I have tried to express that, I have had outer influences and stuff suppress that. And now I've gotten to a point now where I'm not going to let that happen again. I started drawing, broke my wrist, couldn't draw anymore. Picked up the spray paint art, started posting things on Facebook, boom. Gained interest, and I started selling things. Perfect example of learning something new and it creating income. My latest thing is I've always wanted to weld. I have so many different ideas, so many things that I want to build and create. And one of the biggest stumbling blocks for me has been not knowing how to weld. Well, I went and now that I'm back at work, I took some of the extra profit I had from other stuff that I've been doing, side hustles. I went and bought welding supplies. I am now teaching myself how to weld. And I have goals, and there's certain things that I want to build and create with those skills that I am learning. And those skills are going to eventually be put into creating things that create more profit for the Wilson Life. We wanted to be able to do handmade items. I'm going to be hand manufacturing certain things through my newfound skills. But these things take time. So there's a couple things I want to suggest to each and every one of you that you can look at and that are proven to bring you some sort of profit in a pretty short amount of time. Now, you are probably not going to get rich quick, but if you're strapped for cash and need a few $100s up to a few $1,000s quick, these things are what I've learned to be able to do that. Number one is probably the simplest and best way to do it: auctions, auction flipping. There's there's tons of different types of auctions. The ones I have found to be the most successful and that are storage lockers and return pallets. Now, unfortunately in Alaska, return pallets are very few and far between. So that one's hard. When we've been able to get stuff like that, it's turned pretty good profit. If you are down in the lower 48, chances are there is a return pallet wholesaler near you in whatever big city is closest to you. Find out where it is, go to one. Even if you don't end up buying a pallet then and there, at least go, look, kind of watch people around you, do some research on it, and then find out when the next one is. When the next one comes, you have yourself ready to go. You buy yourself a pallet and you can start the process. So there's that. Storage locker auctions, by far one of the easiest, funnest things to do. Granted, it is a lot of work. Buy that storage locker, you've got to clean it out. You have time limits. You've got to learn how to sort things. You're gonna have to probably take things to the dump. And certain things taken to the dump, things like tires, chemicals, mattresses, those things are gonna cost you a little bit more. So you got to understand when you're looking at these lockers that you're taking that into account when you are bidding on these. We have a video that I posted. You can go back and it talks about our process of going through and purchasing and cleaning out and sorting and everything of storage lockers. Luckily, we had a mentor that took us under his wing, and we went on a couple of auctions, and I pitched in some money, so we had a bigger amount of seed money. We bought a few lockers together, split some of the items. He gave us stuff to sell, and we were turning profit quickly and maximizing the amount of money. We had set a goal. He says, here, this is enough to make $300. We turned that stuff not just into $300, into $500. We turned around and bought two $250. One was $200, the other was $250 lockers. Turned around, flipped them, made $1,000 off of the two together. That summer, in like 2.5 months, we made like $3,000 to $5,000 just on flipping the storage lockers. So, like I said, that's one of our favorite ones. It's a lot of work though. And I would suggest if you're going to go and start doing that, would consider getting a storage locker and renting one, and then you take the stuff back to the storage locker. Then you're not bringing the stuff home and who knows whatever else, and it's not making your home life cluttery. That was our biggest struggle with doing the storage lockers, is it created a clutter in our garage, and our garage was not useful. It just basically stored stuff. So, I mean, if you're gonna do one or two every so often, you're probably fine. Just make sure you sort things really good and you're not bringing trash and junk into your garage. Only be bringing in the stuff that has value that you're gonna sell. So that's the plan we went through. So if you want to create a quick profit that you can take and flip that money into something bigger, to invest in something that's going to create you more money, that's awesome. That's what we've done, and that's what I would suggest doing. Create something, use that to create income that you can take and invest into something that's going to make you more income. And we're still doing that. We're still taking and flipping money. We're flipping things in and taking that money and flipping it and saving into investing into bigger things. And there's still a lot more to come for the Wilson Life. So I've had several failures. I've had several successes in that as well. And those successes are what keep me going, because when you have a success and you make that sell, or something starts taking off, it just gives you this whole energy and everything. So anyway, let us know in the comments what you think, and if you have any questions or suggestions. Also, go check out our links. All of that will be linked down in the bottom. Go ahead and check that stuff out. It helps us a lot. If you guys just go in and check them out. If you guys want to see more of our stuff, or have some handmade stuff to be able to purchase, go check that stuff out. All those purchases go into helping us to create more content and bring more of these awesome handmade goods to you as the viewers and consumers. So we appreciate you. If you like what you've seen, go ahead and give us a like, subscribe, hit that little bell, and we'll see you guys in the next video.